Well, howdy folks, welcome back to Ray County. You're joining us as we're just getting the Baler here hooked up to the John Deere. We've got the PTO and everything all done there. We're going to be taking this down into the cornfields, way down yonder, over near the co-op, which we are halfway through harvesting. If you caught the last episode, you would have seen we got the first field done, and we are into the second. We've got our helper down there. They are hard at work, and we'll say hello to them when we get down there, but they have started harvesting the next field, and we need to get down there and start on the corn stalks, which is going to be pretty exciting, just to get a little bit more income in. As you can see, because we did come through into November, in the last episode actually, we didn't come and look at this, but our wheat's germinated. Now we've got a few patchy little spots in here where we've got a few moisture issues. As you can see down the bottom there, a few issues there. Obviously need to get some nitrogen in here, and didn't even realise, but we actually should have ploughed this instead of just doing the tillage in it. But there we go. I'm in two minds whether I keep the realistic weather mod in here with this moisture. As much as I like it, I just find the way it presents the withering, the damaged crops and those kind of things, I'm just not a big fan of it. Sort of having big stands of corn in your field that would have otherwise completely disappeared. So yeah, I don't know, we'll have to give it a bit of thought. Let me know what you think. Is it worth keeping? I like the concept of it, but it's really just the execution. So yeah, something to give some thought to, and you'll have to let me know what you think. But anyhow, enough jibber jabbering. We need to get down to the field and get the baler down there and get started baling. We also need to help out with the grain cart. So we've got the helper obviously driving the combine. Like I said, I'll tell you who that is when we get down there. We'll go and say hello to them. But we need to be running the grain cart and getting some baling done at the same time. So that is the plan. Hopefully we've got enough of everything here. Just double check. Does this say, does it have some wrap in it? Well, it says 1 litre of bale net. We'll have to just double check if that's going to be enough or not. Might have to. I did have a pallet floating around here, although I think I might have inadvertently deleted it when I was playing around with something. But anyhow, if we need to buy some more, we need to buy some more. Right, enough talking. Let's get down to the field. So here we are down at the field. Now I can just make out the very top of the combine. It will be incredibly hard for you to see. There's just a little bit of black over there and it's not moving. So I'm going to have it a guess that the combine is full of corn, and unfortunately got so perilously close to a full lap of the field. Jump over here and jump up into the Massey. But yeah, so close to a full lap of the field. But I think we're going to have to go to... Oh, we'll see. We might be able to sneak down the other side there of the field and get round to them. And there you go, you can see now from this slightly higher vantage point, and it doesn't look like there is much space down there between the corn and the trees. We don't want to run over any more corn than we have to, so we're just going to take the long way around, scoot around, go and to get the combine underway, so our worker can get back underway, and we'll say hello to them as well when we get around there. Well, after almost a full circumnavigation of the field, we're here and we can get things unloaded. Still a little bit of corn in the back there from the last field, which we didn't put in the back of the truck, but it was a good opportunity to get around and see that things seem to be doing a pretty decent job. Got a good corn swath coming out the back. The combine seems to be cutting the corn reasonably well. A little bit of inaccuracy there with that one plant. Don't know how that got there. 2 plants. We'll leave those for the deer. But yeah, otherwise I think everything seems to be working out pretty well. So once we get this emptied out, we'll get ourselves out of the way. We'll go and empty the grain cart into the truck. We'll have a quick chat to our driver, and then we'll go and get started on some corn baling and sort of jump in back and forth in and out of the baler and the grain cart here, and just keep things moving. Be good to get the last of the fields harvested. This is our very final field that we have to take any crop off, so last chance to make any money off crop, which is, I guess, a little bit of a concern, but also exciting to get it finished. And there we go, corn going into the truck. Now this field's bigger than the last one. If you recall, the last field we got just over a truckload. I think there was about 7,000 litres left in the grain cart, but already looks like we've got a pretty full hopper. Now I didn't actually park in a very convenient location there with the baler to be able to get down beside, so we'll just back out of there just to be on the safe side. So we're going to jump up, catch up here with the combine. We'll get it unloaded once more, and we'll hop in and say hello. I think once the headlands are done and there's a bit more turning on the end of the rows, it'll take a little bit longer and not quite so quick to fill the combine up, but it'll certainly corn, as we know, high yielding, and does fill up the combine very, very fast. But there we go, I think that must be pretty much caught up. So I'm just going to stop that there, run and jump very carefully, help us say hello to our worker. And so here we are, riding along in the buddy seat in the case, and we've got Chinook here giving us a hand today. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Chinook, a fellow Kiwi. He's made the trip over to give us a hand, also a big supporter of the channel, so it was nice to have his offer of assistance and have him here to help us out today. So welcome along, Chinook. Nice to have you here. All I can say is please don't miss any crop, and please go on as straight a lines as possible. Probably a good thing we're in this kind of a regular field, because it doesn't matter if you don't quite go as straight as you should. It won't be quite so noticeable, but yeah, there we go. Not sure if it's the best idea to be working behind him when I'm trying to bale, but we'll see how it all works out. But there we go. Getting some crop in the back, just spin around the other way, look in the window, there we go. There it is, there is the corn slowly filling up the hopper there. So yeah, excited to get this field all done and dusted, but we're not going to get any corn stalks baled sitting in here and talking. So once we've made it around the field once more, we will go and jump out and carry on with the baling. Well, with the combine taken care of for now, all unloaded and emptied, let's get into the field here. I'm going to get this turned on, lower that down, and we're going to get into baling some corn stalks. Now, this isn't actually something I got to do last time. We had the worker at the time doing it. I can't remember whether it was that Nina, I think, who we had helping us out with the corn stalks. So kind of, excited about using this, driving this little John Deere and getting some corn stalks baled. See how it goes. Now the plan is, once we're finished, well, once Chinook's finished with the combining in that other field, hopefully we'll have most of these corn stalks all baled up, and then he can take over and bale up that field, and we can go and grab the telehandler and the trailer again from the co-op, and I need to manually unload that. We don't have it set up to unload. There we go. I can go and grab those and come down and unload these things, so that's the plan. Go. I'll turn on some automatic discharge so that it does get off on its own. Yeah, that's going to have allowed that. As I was saying earlier though, you can see this field's a prime example of why I'm not a big fan of the way that the withering mechanic works in the realistic weather. It's not nice looking across the field and seeing all of that corn that wasn't harvested. So let me know what you think. Is it worth keeping? Is it something we should keep for the sort of the realism of this series, or is it a little bit over the top and something we could get rid of? Let me know what you think. Now, as we go along too, and we'll get into a bit of a time lapse in just a second, but the other thing I've been thinking about, I've been looking forward and trying to plan for the farm and what the future holds. Now, we've got about 340,000 litres of corn sitting in our silos, which will be ready to sell come January, I think, is about when we get the best price. Just concentrate on going around the corner and getting as much of this corn stalk picked up as we can. But yeah, the best price is in January, so we've got a couple of months to sit on that. And I've done a little bit of a prediction based on the values we could get, and if we just sell it as is, undried, we'd end up with about $113,000. So that is undried. Now, if we were to invest in some propane and get the corn dryer up and running, we could increase that to 130k. But what I don't know yet is how much the propane will cost, whether it's going to be less than $17,000, and how much we'll actually need. So I do need to do a little bit of research into that and figure out if it's actually going to be worth doing the drying or not. I get a feeling it would be, but again, I'm not 100% sure on that. If it is worth it, we'll definitely look at doing that, but if it doesn't work out, then I guess we'll just sell it as is. 113k pretty much covers 2 months of repayments, so that's January. We've got to worry about a repayment at the end of this month, and then the one at the end of December, so we've got to find another $113,000 in that time, which is where these two fields come in. I'm really getting much closer to the point of actually having to sell this land and consolidate our operation back at the main yard. But anyhow, that's the thought process, is that where I'm at the moment. With that all said, let's carry on here with the baling. That's once around the field, which is good, and you can see Chinook over there in the distance carrying on with the corn as well. So let's crack into it, get this all done and dusted. Well, I reckon that's worked out pretty well on a timing front. I'm just having a look over there, and Chinook does not have much corn left to get done in this field. He is just about finished. Grain cart's just about full, so we're just going to park the tractor up here. We'll head on over, take the grain cart over, get him emptied out, and that'll be a wrap on harvest. First season harvesting here on Ray County. I don't think we're quite going to get a second full truck out of this. Always the case, right? Headlands just provide so much more, or have a much bigger area than you ever expect. There we go. A few bales out here. Now, I didn't actually count how many bales we got off that first field. We can count them up, because once we're done here, and Chinook's into the baling, we'll be able to run up, grab the trailer, and start on the loading. So that'll give us a pretty good perspective on where we're at. But there we go. He's got the blinkers on, got the lights on there as beacons, suggesting he's more than 80% full. So it's going to be pretty touch and go if we can get all this done without running out of space. But we'll just wait here until he's ready to be unloaded. And well, we didn't have to wait very long, did we? Literally got turned around from where we were, and he's full. I was actually hoping to get a nice screenshot, some nice images as he went past, but here we go. Not to be this time. We'll get an unload, get him emptied out, and then we can get this last little bit done. Sort out an image for the thumbnail while we're at it. And there we go, that is all done. Oh, we're full on the grain cart though, so we can't actually get Chinook unloaded. He'll have to drive the combine over. Anyhow, he can just unload that straight into the truck. But we'll go get this one unloaded as well. And I was guessing my statement that we weren't going to get a full truckload. We might go pretty close now, I think. Just have to wait and see. See how far this one goes into it, and then it will all come down how much corn managed to get off those last two passes. It's the front hopper full, 20,350 litres, and what do we have left? 16.5, so we're going to be about 4,000 litres short here in the grain cart. The question will be is whether there's 4,000 litres in the combine. Probably not, would be my guess, but possibly close. Chinook should be driving over, and we'll be able to find out very, very soon. Well, this is actually going to be incredibly close, because there is 4,159 litres here in the combine. So let's get that in the right spot. Augur's a bit longer than I was expecting. Let's see how close we're going to get filling this trailer up with what we've got in the combine. 10% left, we're down to 5. Oh, we're not quite. 418 litres left in the combine. Well, that's going to be frustrating, isn't it? Because of course we can't fold things up. What do you think? 418 litres. Do we leave that for the deer? Maybe we do. Maybe we do. In fact, I can see one over there in the field. Right, we'll give that some thought. It's not the end of the day. End of the world anyhow, depending on what we do with that. Right, with that said, can, however, this get the header folded up, not turned on. There we go. It's all going to fold up, and we can think about running it back down the road, getting it all back home. Right, there we go. Turn it off for now. Worry about getting things done, but we're going to get Chinook set up with the baling. We can go and make a start on that while we get this truck sorted out, get this last load sold, and then get the the telehandler back down here. This is one of those cases when you look in the back and you'd overload that for the 400 litres, wouldn't you? Anyhow, don't have that luxury in Farm Sim. Chinook is up and underway there, getting his first bale out. Of course, he was about half a bale in the back from the other field. Close to jackknifing ourselves there, but there we go. Right. Let's go and get this lot sold, another 7 or so grand, and then into the bales and see what we can make off those. Okay. It's a nice baler setup actually. I like that tractor and baler combo. Looks really good. Right size, right looking combination. And then we go another 7 grand in there from that corn. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to head down here. The trailer and the telehandler's all still parked down here. There it is. So I think what we might do is just bring our trailer. I'm just trying to think where the best place to leave it is out of the way. Just going to park up against the wall here. We'll leave our trailer here while we do the baling. No point running it all the way back to the farm or back down to the field. We'll just have to come back and grab the bale trailer. There we go, right. Be able to go the whole way round. Not that way. Okay. And we'll do a 3-point and go back and find the trailer, get hooked up down to the field. So here we are. We'll gently get this backed off the back of the trailer here, parked in the middle of the field. There we go. No damage done with that. We'll get those ramps folded back up, and then it's just a case of loading. We've got sort of bales in both directions, so we'll start down one end, work our way down the other way, and see if we can get a full truckload out of this field. Well, I think these are the last two bales over here to go. Stacking have been going really well until the last couple. Been very careful, and then one of them decided to fall off, and then they started wobbling around, and even though they were strapped down, pushed one of the bales almost off the other side. So we're just going to have to live with it. That is what it is. But yeah, these are the last two. Should be able to get them up on the front, one on each side. Not the most secure walk through the front of that bale, but that's right. But yeah, as you'll see, the second to last one at the back on this side has definitely forced its way out this way quite a lot, at the influence of the one on the other side. Anyhow, throw this one up on top of here. No idea how Chinook's going. We'll be able to assess that on the way past. So we'll go and get this load sold, and then we'll be back to go and load up the ones in the field he's in. Here we go. I was trying to figure out why it felt like we had a lot more off a smaller field, but it's because the other fields we didn't bale the headlands, we only did the inside of the field. So a few more bales off this one, or at least all the corn stalks taken off rather than just the insides of the field. But there we go. Right, let's turn that off. Go and get these strapped down. Here we go. Jump up in here and go and see what we can make off this load. Driving past, you can see Chinook still working away over there. He must be getting close to being finished. Looks like he's on the second land, and then he's got the small third one, and we've just got an overshot our turn off significantly. So let's just get ourselves backwards here. Go the right way. Pay attention to where you're going rather than worrying about what's happening in the field next to you. Let's have a look. Get these all unstrapped, and there we go. 5.5 grand. Alright. Well, it's 5.5 grand we didn't have beforehand. Be able to get the same at least off the other field. I would expect there might even be a couple more bales there. So that'll take us up to what, 38 maybe? Not quite 40,000. We'll get close to 40,000, which just takes us one step closer to not needing quite so much money at the end of the month, which is good. Right, let's carry on. Let's go and get these last bales loaded up. So into the second field, starting to get these loaded up. I'm going to spare you having to watch me do all of this. We'll just see when we're done, see how many we've got on the trailer, whether it's one load or two loads, and go and get them sold, see how much money we end up making. Alright, last one up on here. Now, I've just done a bit of a counter. We'll just do a little look around. But I think there's 13 bales still sitting here. Now, if I went for another stack on top, I could probably fit 12. I think 13 is a stretch. So, instead of risking it, you can see 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Definitely at least 13. Maybe even another one hiding. So, instead of risking it, we're just going to take this one up and get it sold. Make sure they're all strapped on. There we go. And then we'll come back and grab the last load. Chinook's gone and taken the tractor. He's heading back up to the farm. He's going to drop the baler off at the dairy farm on the way, which is good. And then he's going to come back and grab the combine, grab the grain cart, and he's just going to start ferrying things back to the farm, which is nice. Good idea, good use of time. This next load here, let's see. Oh, not all going to go off in one, but that's 5.5. Get these two off. Right off the front of the truck, please. Get them back into the sell point. Oh, enough horsepower to back up there? Yeah, we do. There we go, another $400. So we're nudging closer and closer to 40, and I think with those 13 bales we've got left, it's about half a load. It's going to be another 2.5 or 3 grand, so we will get our way over 40 grand. Ugly load, but it's the last 13 bales. Let's see what we get there for those. $2,873. Giving us a grand total of $42,000 in the account, which is not too bad. Now, the co-op said just to drop the trailer off, they'd send someone down to pick up the telehandler. It's just in the field next to where we are, effectively. So I'm just going to take a leisurely stroll down at their convenience, grab it out of the field, which is handy. They didn't want it back on the trailer anyhow, so doing them a favour, effectively. Now they just had to park it down here beside the shed though, so it was more out of the way. There we go. Dump that about there. Perfect. Go and pick up our trailer, and we're going to get this back down to the farm, and we'll just start getting everything else back to where it needs to be. Well, we're just on our way back to the farm. Everything else is already back there. Chinook is actually, and we'll probably see him soon, he's running back down with the cart for the air-seeder. In fact, it looks like him now. I might just stop here just to make sure he's got enough space to get past us. He's going to run down. He's got the speed wobbles. Slow down, mate, slow down. Hopefully he gets there in one piece. Oh, goodness. Always in a hurry, that man. Anyhow, as I was about to say, he is going down to grab us some seed to be able to carry on and get some cover crops into the last 3 fields. Now, I was hoping to be able to get some oilseed radish in, but I've been informed November's too late to be planting a cover crop like that. Alfalfa, it's too late for that as well, so our only option really is to get a little bit of grass in. Now, the hope is if we get some grass planted now, we get a good germination, that come springtime, we will be able to get in there, get that mown, baled up and sold to one of the local farmers or to the co-op or someone like that for some silage or hay or whatever it is that anyone wants. This road is incredibly narrow to be running this big combine down. But yeah, that's the plan. That's what we're wanting to do. Just try and make a little bit more money off the farm while we can. So let's get back to the farm. We're going to get this parked up. We need to sort out a pressure washer, get it all cleaned and everything like that at some stage. We'll need to go through it and give it a bit of service, get it all winterized, ready to be put away in the shed until we need it again next year. So got the tractor at the Ford there with the toolbar on the back. Just got to wait for, back there he is right now. Wait for Chinook to get back. Obviously managed to get down there safe and sound without, well, hopefully without breaking anything. Managed to get some seed for us, which is fantastic. So we'll get this taken around the back and we will go and hook this up to the back of the seeder and get underway. So there we go, that's it all hooked up. We're just going to roll straight into this field here because it is nice and convenient. Now, we're not going to bother putting fertilizer on because this is just, it's literally a cover crop that we can cut once. So I don't want to put a whole lot of inputs in it to try and get a big, huge yield off it. I just want to be able to make a little bit of money with minimal inputs from us. That's kind of what we need to do at the moment. So it is just basically the cost of the diesel plus the cost of the seed and figuring out how we're actually going to get this mown later in the year or next year once it's all come up. The other reason is I'm not worried about doing any of the soil sampling or anything like that. That's going to have to be something we can do, or even when the grass is in here we can still get it sampled. So we'll just do that when we can afford to do it. But there we go. That's that all done. Get that powered on. The toolbar lowered down. There we go. That looks like we're getting some grass seeded. Just make sure we get over to the edge of the field. There we go. That's us up and underway. Grass going in. Perfect. Well, we'll see where this is going to be the lifesaver we need. Just have to wait and see. It's a little bit of a gamble, but we'll find out come springtime. So we're just going to carry on in here and get this done. Chinook and I are just going to basically have a chat in here. So I think this is going to be a perfect stage to wrap up today's episode. As always, if you want to be a part of the series, if you want to give me a hand, drop a comment down below, leave your name, and we might pick you to be the next person to come in and help out here on the farm. Not sure what we're going to be doing next. Probably going to be into winter and hauling some crops. Need to decide whether we get some propane or not, and how we're going to pay our bills over the next wee while. But that's all for another time. For this one, we are done. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.